Once upon a time, deep in the heart of a lush green forest, there lived a small bird named Lumo. Unlike his feathered friends who were content with hopping from branch to branch, Lumo had a dream. He wanted to fly high above the trees, to touch the clouds and feel the wind beneath his wings, like the legendary sky dancer birds he'd heard about from his grandfather. Every morning, Lumo would wake up with the sun and practice flapping his wings. But no matter how hard he tried, he could only manage small hops into the air. The other birds would laugh at him, chirping, "Look at Lumo, the clumsy sky dancer. He's trying to fly without any talent. Ha ha." Their words stung like a bee sting, but Lumo was determined to prove them wrong. One day, as Lumo was practicing his hops, he saw a flock of sky dancer birds gracefully soaring overhead. Gathering all his strength, he took a deep breath and jumped. This time, as he flapped his wings, he felt a rush of air beneath them. For a moment, he was flying. But then the wind shifted and he felt himself falling. He tried to adjust his wings, but it was too late. With a sickening crack, his wing hit the ground. Lumo lay on the forest floor, his wing twisted at an unnatural angle. The other birds gathered around, their laughter dying down to mocking whispers. Lumo looked up at the sky, his heart as heavy as the clouds he'd dreamed of reaching. One by one, they drifted away, leaving Lumo alone in his pain. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Lumo closed his eyes, tears rolling down his face. "I'll never fly now," he whispered, his voice hoarse with sadness. "I'm not a sky dancer. I'm just Lumo, the bird with the broken wing." But then a wise old owl, who had watched Lumo's attempts at flying with a mixture of amusement and pity, hooted softly. "Why do you cry, little one? Is it because you have a broken wing?" Lumo looked up, startled. I thought I could fly," he said, his voice trembling. "I wanted to touch the clouds, but now my wing is broken and I can't even hop." The owl blinked slowly. "You are stronger than you think, Lumo," she said, her voice raspy with age. "Your wing will heal, but you must have faith in yourself. You are not defined by your broken wing, but by the strength of your spirit." Lumo looked down at his injured wing, then back at the sky. The owl was right. He may have been hurt, but he wasn't broken. With newfound determination, Lumo began to heal. Day after day, he struggled to move his wing, to feel the strength returning to it. The other birds watched him, their mocking laughter replaced by curious chirps. At first, his hops were shaky and low, but slowly, they grew higher and steadier. Finally, the day came when Lumo stood on the edge of a branch, his heart pounding in his chest. He took a deep breath, remembering the feeling of wind beneath his wings, and with a mighty flap, he launched himself into the air. At first, his flight was awkward, his wings beating erratically. But with each beat, he gained confidence. Higher and higher he soared, until he was floating above the treetops, the wind whispering through his feathers. As Lumo reached the clouds, he felt a sense of triumph. He had done it. He was flying. Below him, the forest looked like a patchwork quilt, the houses like tiny boxes. Lumo circled above the trees, his wings carrying him effortlessly. He wasn't just flying with his wings, he was flying with the belief in himself. Suddenly, a young bird, one of the ones who had laughed at him, flew up beside him. "Lumo," he gasped, "you're flying." "I thought you couldn't." Lumo smiled. "I told you I could," he said, his voice filled with joy. "Falling is part of flying," he added, thinking of the wise old owl's words. And so, from that day on, Lumo was known throughout the forest as Lumo the Sky Dancer, the bird who had fallen but had flown again. His story became a reminder for all the little birds that no matter how many times they fall, as long as they believe in themselves, they can always rise again.